Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of every episode of Foster's Home Season 1 reviewed. Now, the last video was cut short due to the fact that it was over 12 minutes. But I'm back with with the video, and we're gonna be reviewing episode 9. Now everything about that was said in the last video was already have been said in the last video, like I said. So not much details to be said here. If you guys were just tuned into this video, watch the other part, so you know what's going on. Anyways, let's get up to. Oh, sorry. Let's get on to episode 9. Very scary. During her first visit, a new friend named Barry falls in love with Blue. This episode is what I like to call the first episode of Mac torture. Yeah. This episode was not funny. It has one joke. Barry wants to be with Blue, but every time Mac does activities with Blue, Barry traps Mac and does horrible stuff to him just to be along with Blue. And honestly, the ending this episode. So try to have a message about staying away from creepy people and how you can't let creepy people be in the way of your friendship. And the fact this is a love episode about love is not really that good. Yes, the episode did have Barry getting her just desserts or comeuppance, but doesn't really say the fact that the end it just came out of nowhere. Also, let's talk about Barry. I don't hate Barry, but she was really unlikable in some scenes. In fact, she was unlikable for most of the episode. Also, as she constantly put Mac through hell, and the fact that Blue wants to be with Barry, it was really out of character for him. Mac had every right to be annoyed with Blue that scene. There weren't that many highlights with this episode. It was just an episode that I just randomly forget. Ultimately sliding this episode into the home for garbage episodes. And the fact this is the season's first episode is really scratching the bone here. Episode 10, Seeing Red. Terrence decides to imagine a friend named Red to beat up Blue. So, okay, I'm just gonna come out and say it. The first half of the episode is honestly the best part. I liked how Blue was defending Mac from Terrence, and it was kind of a really good moment. However, that's probably one of the only positives. When it comes down to this episode is kind of boring. I mean, the Red himself is probably one of the positives. I do like how he's portrayed. He isn't portrayed as a bully or anything. He honestly is just a nice guy. And I like how Terrence tries to convince him to be bad so he can beat up Blue, so Terrence gets a chance to pick up Mac. But the biggest problem with this episode, like I said, it's just boring. I hardly remember anything that happens in this episode. So I mean, Terrence was unlikable as always. And the fact that he made up imaginary friends to beat up Blue so he wouldn't defend Mac, which is honestly too far for Terrence's character. I know he's supposed to be portrayed as a bully, but hell, even a bully would far. Yes, Terrence does get his comeuppance, but which kind of saved the episode a little bit, but not really that much. I do like the fact that Blue is defending Mac, and like I said, Red's character is really perfectly portrayed. So honestly, this is an average episode. So not much to say about this one. Episode 10B, Phone Home. After getting told that Lou tries to save the friends. Like the other average episodes, it's also boring. boring. However, this episode is not just boring. It's boring and outright dumb. Dumb. This episode already had this episode already has an episode that's, but it comes out, this episode feels copied. I mean, there's another episode where Blue tries to save Matchray friends, even though these two episodes have similar parts, but I'll discuss that in the future. Now, I would say that the moral of this episode is well executed. I do like how seven people won't give you recognition. It was just it's that you do the right thing. It was really good. But most of the episode is just Blue trying to save the Matchray friend, and everyone's annoyed, and it was really boring. I mean, most of the episode itself is just outright boring. It really paid to sit through. And also, I really had serious issues with its ending. And I do like how Blue realized that you can't win to get recognition. You're winning just to do nice things. It was really good. But then however, this whole nice moral is kicked out the window when Mac saves the Matchray friend, and he gets rewarded for it. But seriously, I did not like that ending. It outright contradicts the moral that the episode was telling, just for a dumb joke. And like I said, and yet what I mentioned, Mac is pointless here. I mean, he only appears in the last minute, so why is he even here? There's not much I can say about this episode. It's garbage house. It's garbage episodes. It's home for garbage episodes. So, but if you want an episode that tells a really good moral, have an episode. But let's just watch an episode that has a moral that actually plays throughout the entire episode, instead of the moral being kicked out the window with that ending. Episode 11, Who Let the Dogs In? Ed tries to keep the dogs away from Mr. Hare. Dead. Okay, this episode is, yes, it's still kind of boring, but in a good way. I do like, now this episode reveals that Mr. Fair may have a phobia for dogs. Dogs, aka puppies. And I do like the scenes where Ed trying to hide the puppies so Mr. Harriman wouldn't find out. It was really a really good scene. It was a really funny scene. I also like the assembly scene where the characters are trying to hide the puppies. And it was a really good scene. Also, the puppies look adorable. I can tell you that. Also, Mr. Harriman was funny as well. Funniest episode as he tries to keep the dogs away from him. I also like this joke where his character has tongues for feet, and that he can only lick stuff on the ground. That was kind of funny. But there's only one thing that I did not like this episode. Yeah, it's boring, but in a good way. But I also did not like Blue, and this is the first time, and this is the second time where I did not like him. The first time I didn't like him was back at Phone Home. He comes across as a character that doesn't like puppies at first because they're getting in the way of him and Mac building the time machine. But then by the end of the episode, he suddenly likes them. It's just weird. Yes, I know that a person doesn't like one thing at the beginning, but then they realize at the end, but then realize at the end it's really good, and he ends up liking it. It's just that plot. But as it is, the episode itself was actually really funny. I'm giving it a great episode rating. Episode 12. Adopt Clueless now. Mac and Blue tried to hide older friends so they won't get adopted. Okay, this episode only has one good thing. Blue's dance. That's all about it. Adopted Clueless now has to be one of the most unpleasant and boring episodes of the entire series. And probably the most boring episode of the series. Oh, anyways, guys, I gotta go because well, I'm getting my parents are calling me, and since I cannot use iMovie, so stay tuned for part 3. Okay, I'm sorry this video had to end so abruptly, but you'll hear more of my opinions on Adopt List now in part 3. Sorry guys, but thanks for watching. Please subscribe.